Hi, I have now finished number 7 from the Carnegie Medal shortlist. So I'm getting there. I'm going to get this all 8 read before the prize is announced. This one, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acavedo. This is a novel in verse, and it tells the story of 2 girls who lose their father on flight AA587 when it crashed to the ground in Queens in New York. The author, Elizabeth Acavedo, she was 13 at the time when this happened, and it happened 2 months and 1 day after 9/11. And because there was no terrorist connection with this disaster, this flight, this accident, she felt that the people who lost their lives on this flight were almost forgotten victims. So she wanted to remember the people here, because the majority of them, I'm reading the back of the book actually, so just bear with me, 260 people plus 5 people on the ground died. More than 90% of the passengers were of Dominican descent, and many were returning home. It completely rocked the New York Dominican community, and it was the 2nd deadliest aviation crash in United States history. So this is what she wanted to tell a story of. She wanted to talk about the victims of this disaster. And the title, Clap When You Land, it was a tradition that when people returned to the Dominican Republic, when the plane touched the ground, they would clap their hands. So that's a little bit of the background about why she wrote the book. The 2 girls, you've got Camina, whose father spends June to September in the Dominican Republic, and you've got Yahira, whose father leaves America to travel to the Dominican Republic once a year. And they both lose their father in this disaster, separated by distance. What they realise is that the father they lost is the same father. So he's got 2 families. He's got his American family that he lives with for 9 months of the year, and he's got his Dominican family who he sees for 3 months a year. So these sisters know nothing about each other, but they are brought together by his death. And it's almost bittersweet, because Camino and they have a relationship. They don't have a relationship, but they are brought together by his death. He created, a quote from the book is, he created a theatre of his life and got lost in the different roles he had to play, because in America he was one person, in the Dominican Republic he was another person, and it was almost as though the two people were totally different people. Yahira in America, she's absolutely distraught about her father, as is Camino, and she runs off to the Dominican Republic and she meets her sister. And the ending had me in tears actually. It's very, some books do that to me, and the ending of this is in tears. And the poetry is just super. Because it's poetry, it is quite a quick read. It's almost in 2 points of view. You've got Camino, you've got your hero, you've got their different voices throughout the book, and it counts down sort of from 1 day after the disaster, 29 days later, 30 days later, and it goes through the timeline. A lovely read. You'll need your tissues because it made me cry. So that's another one on the Carnegie Medal list. And 1 more book to go, and I'll speak to you later. Happy reading. Bye.